This was a very strange Triduum Holy Week for me personally. There were just a lot of disruptions and things that required me to be doing things that I guess I didn't really think about to start the week. And on Thursday, Holy Thursday, the liturgy that evening, the Mass of Priesthood, we were actually at the school hosting a closed pod vaccination clinic for 16 years old and their families, students from all over Lucas County. And it's funny, it wasn't until very late in the clinic, which was from 3 to 7, that I realized I'm not going to make it to a Holy Thursday service. I don't know why that hadn't occurred to me earlier. It was from 3 to 7. This all kind of came together quickly. But at no point in the planning of it did it occur to me that it was going to fall in such a way that I couldn't do that. But it was also equally a very powerful and profound experience to see so many people coming to the clinic. I know in talking to the nurses, this was a Mercy Health closed pod. After it was over, it was kind of like unpacking a spiritual experience. And several of the nurses said, this is the first time we've been vaccinating kids. And it was a real moment of hope for them to realize, to see that shift in that movement. And we got to talking about a phrase that I've heard and you've heard for months: new normal. And what struck me this morning when I woke up was, for most of us, and in most instances, new normal has a very negative connotation. In medical spaces, if you have a baseline of where you're living and you have some sort of setback, you break a bone, you have a stroke, whatever, you come below the baseline, and the talk becomes in therapy, can we return them to their baseline, or can we get them really close and create a new normal for this person? But what struck me this morning as I got up earlier than I wanted, I don't know about where you live, but right now the moon comes through my window like God's flashlight at about 4:45. And so I was up, whatever. But I was thinking about, what if new normal was better? What if new normal was deeper? What if it was greater? Because we will have a new normal. Christ's death and resurrection guaranteed a new normal. But for us, you go back 1 year's time, and none of us were here for this service. And this is a new normal. But what if we believe that? So as I was sending out some Easter greetings this morning, one of them was to Matt Bell, who's a graduate of our school. He runs Team Recovery. He went through opioid addictions. Is a recovering addict of that. And I just said, Matt, let me ask you, all your life and all your experience and 27 some times through treatment, where you are now is a new normal, right? Would you go back to who you were before all of that, if you could? It was funny, he said no, because that guy, that was Matt living Matt's will. And he's like, one of the things I've learned through all the mess and pain and hitting rock bottom of my life is I had to turn that over to God. And then and only then was I free. I was like, cool, can I use that in my homily? Because there it is. He did say yes, by the way. So you have to check with it. But it just makes me think about, in my own life, do I really trust God? Do I believe that the new normal will be greater, more powerful, better? Because God's always promised freedom, but what we've always wanted is control. God's promised life, but it is inextricably connected to death. God has always spoke truth, but we haven't always wanted to hear it. In fact, we tend to kill truth if it speaks too strongly to us. Prophetic voices, Jesus himself. And so we find ourselves at this moment in time contemplating what new normal will look like for us. As I kind of signed off to Matt this morning, I said, hey, love you, so grateful for you. And he's like, I'm really struck by that idea. This is a new normal for all of us. But are we living in such a way that testifies to the resurrection? Because here's the sad reality for me as your preacher. Most people's lives are not changed by homilies. Darn it. Most people's lives are changed by experience. Right? It's our life experience that changes us. In every gospel account of the resurrection, it's that experience that changes them, not the words. This one ends exactly with it, right? They still didn't understand what rising from the dead meant. They're still struggling with the words. They know an empty tomb and a burial cloth thrown to the side. They were about to encounter a new normal. And it is greater, and it is deeper, and it is better, and it is richer, and it is fuller, and all the ers that you and I can think of. But it is scary too. But that is what life always offers us. What we are journeying through right now has always been the same. I had the Easter Vigil last year with the Visitation Sisters, just me and them. No people were present. And I left them that night, and I ended up having it again last night, but we had some people present. But as I left them a year ago with this word from their founder and my patron, Francis de Sales, I leave it with you today too. Because we can understand that intellectually, but we can only apply this new normal, this resurrection, this transfiguration of who we are, if we trust him. And so what Francis said about this is so profound. Whatsoever happens, never let go. Trust in this one who loves you. Cling to him who loves you. Whatsoever happens, never let go. There is a new normal coming our way. And we have to be on our way, just as Jesus is our way. And so this liturgy, this opportunity to come together, is new, different, more profound to us. And where we will be tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, I don't know. But I never want to let go. Trusting God in peace that he knows, because he conquered sin and death. We celebrate that in Easter. And he will conquer all of our deaths if we can but give back over control. Let God be God, and we be the beloved. Let the lover love us in every space and every opportunity. Let us be on our way. Just as Mary and all the different accounts, the various Marys and Peter and John and all those that are involved, they had this experience of him and they got on their way. They got on their way to sharing this good news. And we are having an experience. We are in a new normal, and it will change for us a little bit every day. But let us be confident. Let us be peacefully moving on our way to this new normal, just as God has promised. This morning new, and every day that he offers us is a chance to share that with others. In a global pandemic space of time, you and I can testify to that. Resurrection power, a new normal that is greater and deeper and richer and fuller. As we think about that in his word, and as we prepare to receive him in the Eucharist, that we will indeed leave here with a new normal, different than we came in, filled in a very special way with his very presence to be shared with others. May God be praised.